in a
1994.
1994. Well, that's about 24 years ago.
Yeah.
But he's got a better memory than me. And Jim happened to be looking to get into mortgage originating, and I was hiring several originators at the same time. And Jim showed up and became one of our members of one of our classes. And through all those years, a lot has happened to Jim. And when I say cool guy with Jim, you can substitute inspirational individual. The challenges he's faced, and not just faced, but faced down, succeeded in spite of, and inspired just about every person who has interacted with him is absolutely amazing. When Jim first started losing his eyesight, he came to me and said, you know, since I can't write looks good letters anymore, can we redefine the letter as a sounds good letter?
That's right.
That is right.
That sounds good.
You know, but in a nutshell, that kind of attitude is what has set Jim apart from any individual I have ever met in my entire life. And for that, Jim, I thank you.
Thank you.
We would like to present you with a Lifetime Achievement Award, Jim. And on it is inscribed, you've inspired thousands of prospects with your tireless efforts, enthusiasm, and zest for mortgage lending. Your dedication to all aspects of home ownership is done with compassion, honesty, integrity, excellence, and fairness. It couldn't be written any better and more deserved by an individual.
Amen.
Really, really nice. Thank you so much, Greg. I really appreciate
And
it.
thank you.
If I might say, I'd like to say just a few words.
You go right ahead and I will get out of your way.
No, that's fine, Greg. You know, it's been almost 40 years in mortgage banking, and I wasn't going to say this today, but I kind of started, actually about in the mid-70s, I started taking care of a couple of duplexes that my brother-in-law owned. He and a friend, they moved out of town, and just the whole idea of paying TCF mortgage or whatever I was doing kind of intrigued me here a little bit. And I was actually spent a year in nursing school. Kind of considered that. I was in a medical unit when I was in the Air Force, and so I thought I'd give that a shot. It was a great experience, but not for me. Not for me. Well, I picked up a want ads and something about a part-time collector at Knutson Mortgage, and I had done some part-time collecting work. I think is Dave Thompson here?
He is not.
He isn't, but he and I worked together at Student Loan Servicing Center at the First National Bank of Minneapolis at the time. And so anyway, I had done that. It sounds interesting. And so 6 months later, I got my first full-time job as a collector at Knutson Mortgage, and was there for about 9 years. And then I went to work at Metropolitan Federal Mortgage, where I think Vicki Reardon, I worked with her for about 9 months. Remember those days, yes. It was 10 minutes of how to qualify and hit the roads, you know. I had no clue what I said. So actually, that's what Greg and I talked a lot about. 7 years later, I was subject to a mass layoff at United Mortgage when Bank of America bought them out. And so I'd do something. And they did say at one of those severance meetings that go where your passion is. And I thought, my passion is mortgage banking. It really is. I remember saying this to Greg, but told him about my travails at Metropolitan Federal. I said, we give it a shot. Well, Greg gave me the best training ever. 6 weeks, and I still remember so many things. You know, how you treat people, the customers, qualifying, so many things. Of course, there are many, many more things, you know, to learn. But and looking back, I do have to say one thing, and maybe this pat myself on the back a little bit, but in that really tough times, which for me personally was 05 to 08, I think I made very few mortgages that ever went into foreclosure. And I would always ask people, is this payment comfortable for you? I'm personally a real believer in home ownership. It really and truly is. It's not only an investment, but it's where you live. It's particularly since I've been spending so much time at home. You know, Sarah, it's been like, and our house has kind of turned into a bit of a Grand Central Station. But just to have your own home, I really, really believe in that. And that's kind of what's kept me motivated. And I do, and as I say, I have some satisfaction of knowing this did not happen. I read a book recently on this, The Demise of Common Sense by, let's see, Jeffrey McDonald, I believe. And it was the demise of Lehman Brothers. And they talked specifically a lot about what happened in the mortgage business. And there were instances, people, they just wanted to make the mortgage and make a ton of money, which they did. Well, of course, we know what happened, you know. But, so I have the satisfaction knowing that I didn't do that. I did have one guy that I did a loan for in 06. He comes up to me about 2 years later and said, I'm not making any more payments. The house isn't worth it. So I tried to convince him otherwise, but, you know, to no avail. I said, convince him to keep making the association dues. It was a condominium, as I remember. But anyway, so that has been satisfying, and I've had so much good support here. I just could not have kept in the business if it wasn't for all the support I've had, starting really with Greg. Keeping me working. I know it would have been easy to say, well, you know, it's kind of tough here, you know, whatever. It's meant a lot in my life. It's part of my identity. It's a way I've gotten out. I frankly love selling. I love getting on the phone and asking for business. And I guess I kind of have a reputation for finding business. Could be whatever. In fact, we have a wonderful man coming to our house. We have a GFI outlet that's thrown in our kitchen. Well, he's an electrician. He learned his skill in while he was at Stillwater Prison. Believe it or not, this guy I met through the Amicus program. That's another thing I have done. Like, come back, fix it. That would be nice, you know. And but I've work's been a part of what I have, really a very rich life. And not only, of course, the money is nice. I like the idea of keeping facts and figures in your head. I've had to learn to do that, not being able to access things, you know, quickly and easy, like on the internet or whatever. But Greg, I can't, and everybody, you know, I think, oh, so many people, Lori, Janelle, everybody here, boy, Sarah, who have kept me informed, kept me engaged, which has really meant so much to me, and I really have enjoyed it, and it's been marvelous. And there's several other things in my life I've done. I've done some work at the Minnesota Streetcar Museum, which I think I don't believe I've gotten any business there. Amicus, I with ex-offenders, yes, you know. And I am such a believer, and I do tell people it's easy for you to buy a home than to rent a home, and that is very true. And I've also been active in the the University of St. Thomas Alumni Choir. That's been really a great activity. I think I have a loan coming out of there. You know, great prospects. But my thing here is just a big, huge thank you. You know, I'm sorry I've been so non-existent here since about November 1st. But if I can feel good, I'd love to get back. You know, I've never been happier. I've never been more ready to go home to God too. But it's been a great life, and you've all been a part of it. Thank you so very much. Thanks.
And I think Janelle wanted to give you something as well.
Jim, I got a new box of business cards.
Oh, great. You can bury me with those.
And then I also have a star dedicated to Jim. This little box falls apart. So your astrological sign is Leo.
Yes.
So there is a star named the spirit and attitude of Jim White in the Leo sign. Here's where it's located. There's your star.
Oh, excellent.
And here is a print memorizing where it is in the universe.
Oh,
Wow.
That is for you.
oh my gosh.
Wow.
Oh, not too good. Oh boy.
I'm on amends.
Oh, good, good. Oh, this is gorgeous. Thank you. This is so very nice. Does that tie in at all to the Desperado?
I don't know what that means. I'm not going to pretend to say something smart.
It does if you want it to.
Pleasantly amid the noise and as far as possible without surrender. Be on good terms with all men and women, but avoid the loud. Listen to all. They have their story, but avoid the loud and the oppressive, for they can be a vexation to the spirit. My kids have heard that many times. What's next, Dad?
Oh.
This is just very. I love
Oh,
the
that's beautiful.
Oh, is this nice? Thank you so very much. Janelle, thank you. Give you a hug. I should probably hug everybody here, but God, thanks.
Okay, there are snacks, drinks here, so certainly
Yeah.
take your time.
Enjoy. Thank you.
Encourage Jim to go out and get some more loans. There's gotta be somebody he hasn't talked to yet. And Jim would love to take some time to talk to you.
Oh,
If
absolutely.
you can
Yeah.
certainly make sure you get